Well, good morning everybody and welcome back to Robmotive JT. Real quick, if you're new to the channel, or maybe you've been just hanging around for a while and haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and do so right now. Hey, I wanted to talk about some awesome Jeep Gladiator or awesome Jeep innovations that should be coming to the Jeep Gladiator. I want these in my truck. You know, Jeep is quick to come out with new things. It's one thing I really love about the Jeep brand. And they've got a few exciting things right now that they actually have out already in some of their vehicles. Now, the first one is the driver's heads-up display. You know, I'm a big fan of this. I have it, or had it rather, I think in one of my vehicles. I had a 2000, I think it was an 18 Corvette. And it had that heads-up display. And it was awesome. I fell in love with it. It's cool, and we need to have it in the Jeep Gladiator. You know, it shows some pretty cool things. It shows the speed, puts some navigation information up there, even shows you the speed limit in the area that you're in right now. Now, I know that might not be good if you're a heavy pedal driver, because it's kind of hard to argue with the ossifer that wants to talk to you that you didn't know what the speed limit was when it's showing right there on your heads-up display. But nonetheless, it's pretty darn cool, and it's a safety feature, right? I mean, anything that makes you look straight ahead or keeps you looking straight ahead to keep your eyes on the road, that's a good thing, because we should be doing that anyway, right? Number two, now this one is pretty controversial, and I'm not sure that I'm absolutely sold on it, but it is autonomous driving. You know, hands-free driving. Now, I wouldn't want this for just kicking around town or anything, or for short little spirited trips where I want to have some fun. But it would be awesome on a long distance trip. I mean, could you imagine you could go ahead, push the button, hit the setting, talk to it, whatever you do to activate it, and then just sit back while you cruise for the next 3, 4, 5 hours on the freeway. That would be awesome to me. Honestly, I don't know if we're really there yet. I know there have been some issues with these systems already. You know, if something changes in the road and the system doesn't recognize it, then obviously there's going to be a problem. And I often wonder what happens when there's road construction. You know, these systems would have to be up to date, tied in immediately to know everything that's possibly going on, or even maybe an accident in the road. So I don't know that we're fully there yet. But I tell you, I look for the day, and it may not be in my lifetime, but I look for the day when you can just jump in your car for a long distance cross-country trip, maybe take a snooze, just sit back and relax, make the trip go a little bit faster. Now, a couple other things that Jeep has come out with that I'm sure is going to make its way to the Jeep Gladiator. First is the all-electric Wrangler, right? They have the 4xe, or the Wrangler 4xe. And I'm sure it won't be long before that makes its way into the Gladiator. There's already talk about it out there coming to the Gladiator in 2022. We shall see. Next up are solar-powered charging stations. You know, this has been one of the big arguments for all of the off-roaders out there. What do I do if I have an electric Jeep, be it a Gladiator or a Wrangler, and I'm out in the middle of nowhere and I need to charge? I mean, they don't have the longest charge anyway, right? Well, Jeep is now saying that they're going to start putting remote solar-powered charging stations around. They're going to start with a couple of their trails, or the more popular trails, I guess. First is Moab in Utah, and the second is the Rubicon Trail in California. These are just little stations set up that you can go up, plug in, and recharge. Now, the problem still, I'm sure, is going to be charging time. You know, when you're out there and you're running around, that's what you want to be doing, right? You don't want to be sitting at some solar charging station somewhere and charging up your Jeep. But nonetheless, it will alleviate some of the concerns about having an all-electric vehicle when you're out off-roading somewhere. Now, it's great if you stick to those spots, but what, let's say, I don't know, Uncle Willie has a 500-acre farm somewhere and you like to go out and tear around on that. I suppose you've got to watch that little electric gauge, make sure that it's not on empty when you're out doing stuff like that, because obviously you can't throw a can of electricity in the back of the Jeep as a fail-safe, or just in case you have a problem and need to have a recharge, right? So that's one of the big problems. I think the electric vehicles, you know, they have their place, and their place is in the city. You know, as commuter vehicles, maybe short trips, maybe if you don't drive too far, back and forth to work, stuff like that. I still don't believe that we're really at a point yet, and probably won't be for the next 10 or 20 years, in my opinion, to where we can have an electric vehicle that is mainstream. You know, like today, where you go out, buy a new car, fuel it up, and then head off on a 10-hour trip. I don't think we're gonna be there for a while. We don't have the infrastructure for that. And we're gonna have to change a lot of people's minds, because I think there's a mindset, and there will be probably until the next generation, about the reliability and how far you can actually go with an electric vehicle. I know I wouldn't want to be on a long distance trip and have to worry about running out of power somewhere, and then what? You know, I suppose you could have a tow truck come with some sort of a high intensity battery, maybe give you some sort of a quick charge, and then you still have to get somewhere and sit for an hour or two while you charge up. This doesn't sound practical to me, and we just don't have the space to set up all these charging stations either. Anyway, it's an interesting concept. I think for, again, just commuting around town, things like that, it's pretty good, or it would be good for that, but I just don't think we're at a point, and won't be for quite a while, for them to be mainstream. So of these things that are coming up, these awesome Jeep innovations, for me, the biggest one, or the coolest one, is that heads-up display. Can't wait to have that. I think it's awesome. Leave a comment, let me know what you think of these things, and what are you looking for? What's out there that maybe you've seen in other models, or things that have been proposed, maybe rumors, that you'd like to have in your Jeep Gladiator? I'd be curious to know. Also, real quick, if you're interested, I do have 2 additional channels. The first is Rob Motive, all about my 2020 Toyota Tacoma. And my newest channel, Rob Motive Tundra, about my pursuit of the redesigned Toyota Tundra, and some news and things about the current Tundra, and gossip that you might hear here and there. Check them out, and if you like them, please consider subscribing. Don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And do me a favor, smash that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.